start off with the Oregon Ducks since they are on the road with Dante Moore. Take it away, Russ.
Well, firstly, I think the point you make about them already getting ready to find a way to keep him, it makes sense. I mean, has Dante Moore shown some stuff this year? No question. I think he has shown more than anybody anticipated in terms of ability to make the throws, make them accurately, make good decisions. But there's also been a lot of ups and downs after that really racing start. There have
Yeah.
been some games, especially you saw that Indiana game where you watched him, you thought, this guy's not a high-end prospect if you just watched that one game.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying he isn't a good prospect. I'm just saying off that one game, you'd say, not really. So it's one of those things. I think he would benefit from a second year there. I like the skill set. He's got the size. He's an athlete. He seems to be a kid who's remarkably gone through some stuff, going to UCLA, transferring back and everything, matured. So he's a very mature kid. I think one more year he's going to put himself in a great spot. I love the skill guys around him. The Whittington, the running back, maybe a short little dude at under 5'8", but he's a good player, very dangerous in the open field. We've talked about Evan Stewart. Gary Bryant is not only a dangerous receiver, he's also a really good punt returner. They have the junior tight end, Sadiq, who you brought to my attention earlier in the year. Athletic kid, can stretch the field, can make plays down the field. He brings a weapon, sort of a big weapon to their offense in terms of size, whereas Bryant, Stewart, and Whittington are all sort of smaller guys. Sadiq's got the size. And then you look at that offensive line. There's definitely been some ups and downs for Isaiah World, who I think, according to a lot of people, they thought he was going to be a guy that could challenge to be a top 10 pick coming into the year. Big kid, no doubt NFL talent when you look at his size, athleticism, and his long arms. But definitely some inconsistency this year. Footwork been bad, some of his positioning. But with him and Harkey, when you're talking college football, those are two good tackles. Are they elite NFL guys? No. I think World is probably going to be in that second to third round. Someone's going to take a roll of the dice, even though his production has not matched his talent this year. Harkey, to me, is sort of the opposite. Harkey's not a top athlete, a little bit stiff in the hips, a little bit of a waist bender, but he plays very good football. I think he's going to be probably an undrafted free agent, maybe a late round pick as a guard conversion because he has short arms. Then you look at the Bedford kid and the Pregnon kid, the guard. Two interesting kids because I think when you look at Pregnon, you see an athletic kid. There's a lot of upside there, powerful kid. I think he could end up being a second or third rounder. The Bedford kid to me is very unique because he's so long. You're talking about a kid that's 6'5" and change. He has 34 and 5/8 arms, 10-inch hands. This is a kid you look at and say, okay, is he your third guard? Could he also be that fourth tackle on game day? Because he's got those long arms. Even though he's not ideal athletically to play tackle, we've talked about versatility and value for offensive linemen. He's a guy that stands out to me as could he be that guy that could be a backup at all spots? Very intriguing kid. Defensively, it's mostly really there are two juniors on the D-line, the guys that jump out and grab your attention. The Ugalele kid, defensive end, he's a bigger kid. He's athletic. He's long. He looks like a powerful, dominant guy. And then you're surprised by his agility and speed. Amari Washington, interior guy, another junior, 320-plus pounds, powerful kid. I think
skyrocketing.
Yes, he's gone from a guy, I think, entering the year that people were like, oh, he's talented, but where is he going to fit? To now, I think NFL teams are literally saying, is this one of the top two or three interior guys in the country that could threaten to be a first-round pick? We've talked about the linebacker, Becker, or Bechter, however you want to pronounce it. Love the kid. Love the way he plays. He's all over the field. I just don't know if there's enough athleticism there to realistically challenge to be a starter. To me, he's that guy that comes in and is just a phenomenal backup special teams guy. We've talked about Canada and Theron Johnson, two good, solid corners. I don't know if either one of these to me is a guy that you're definitely going to see drafted. I think they're more towards end of the draft maybes, priority free agents. We've mentioned the Luke Basso, the long snapper. I like this kid. I think he's got a chance to stick in the NFL as a snapper. And the Sappington kid, the kicker, I like him. I don't think he's getting drafted, but I do like Sappington. He's not a big kid, but he has shown the ability to make some big kicks in some key spots. But I don't know if he's got the leg to really threaten to where an NFL team's going to take a chance on drafting him.
Yeah, a couple guys I'll touch base on. Evan Stewart is going to be one of the fastest players in this year's draft. And for that, I think he maintains a top 100 status despite the lack of production this year. It hasn't been a world beater type of
Yeah,
season.
it's an odd thing, right? Like we
Yeah.
came into the year expecting a lot, and it's
hmm
been disappointing.
We did. And Mekhi Hughes was another guy we expected a lot, and he winded up redshirting after his lack of playing time earlier in the season. You mentioned Whittingham. And I don't know if he gets drafted, Russ, but he's one of these make it guys, a little kind of do it all back. He runs well, he catches the ball well, he turns his legs on contact, he gets those extra yards. He does a little bit. He's a jack of all trades, master of none, and I think you can find a home for a guy like that at the next level. Bear Alexander, the defensive tackle who came over from Cal, has really come on strong at 6'3" and 315 pounds. The issue there is going to be the previous concussions, and teams are going to want to investigate that as we get closer to the draft, if he declares, because he is a redshirt junior. I mentioned Whittingham. He's a short guy, 5'7" and 5/8, 202 pounds, out of Western Kentucky, a former transfer there, and he's just elusive. He's got great vision. He's burst. He's a late round candidate for sure. Emmanuel Pregnon, I want to talk about him and Isaiah World because, I thought Isaiah World coming into the season was an overhyped media creation. And I went back and watched this film last year. I didn't see this big dominant offensive
Yep.
tackle prospect that everybody was talking about. I saw a lot of mistakes. I saw a lot of penalties. In fact, 32 penalties his first 3 seasons.
I
He's
mean,
got a lot.
he may be the ultimate Tarzan Jane guy, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean, yeah, it's alluring. It looks like, first one off the bus, but I haven't seen him put it all together. And meanwhile, I watch Pregnon. He's fundamentally sound. He's crisp.
yep.
He's got knockback. He's mauling people. I mean, I think Emmanuel Pregnon has a chance to be the first guard off the board at 6'4" and 3/8 inches, 320 pounds, great length. I mean, he's got tackle type of length. One guy I've been down on, and I know there's a lot of love for Dylan Thieneman, the safety who came over from Purdue, and he's a tackle machine. He shows up constantly around the football. He's like a coach on the field. He's always in the right position. I think my problem is with him. I have him listed here at 6 foot, 207 pounds. He doesn't play that way. I've seen this guy get blasted on run plays, taken out of the play, barreled over, and he's willing. He'll stick his shoulder in there and try to make the play. I just don't know if he has the strength, right? To for me to consider him. Not, I don't think he's a first round pick. I can understand the love, um, but I don't know. I guess he's in that top 100 equation. He's got great testing measurables, and he's got a lot of experience and production, and he's done it now at Oregon. So I get it. I just don't see him as one of the premier playmaking safety type prospects. I think Caleb Downs is light years ahead of him in terms of that ranking. Tatum Tuatu, the offensive or the edge rusher there alongside Ugalele, they're bringing it from every direction. And Ugalele is a guy, he's got a little bit of Alex Highsmith to him, just a high motor, relentless pursuit, the effort, just never gives up on the play. And you'll see a lot of his sacks are just byproducts of him not giving up because he's just nonstop with it. And then Kenyon Sadiq, I agree, don't love the size at 6'3", 245 pounds out of Idaho Falls, Idaho, by the way, and he's going to run like a deer. He's going to test well. He's got obviously tremendous production, but so did Harold Fannin coming out of Bowling Green. And
Yep.
so, you don't see Fannin lighting it up exactly. So I think you do have to take the size into consideration. And I'll bring it back around to the quarterback out of Detroit, Michigan at 6'2" and 6/8 inches, 210 pounds. This Dante Moore, I think that what I like about him most, Russ, is he's just cool as a cucumber under pressure. And he doesn't get rattled. He doesn't panic. He doesn't make poor decisions. He's a precision passer who's going to work the short to intermediate parts of the field and beat you with his feet when he needs to. And I think he's got to develop a little bit more as a progressional reader, and there's room for improvement, and that's part of the excitement about his game too, is the upside, the
Yep.
potential, because he's just really scratching the surface in terms of what he can be.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I think with more, and it's just so interesting because it's so different than it was before 10 years ago when you had guys transferring, you had guys jumping out so early. Now, to me, he's the perfect guy when you look at he's had a really good year this year. There have been some disappointing games. The perfect guy that you say, all right, he's going to be a redshirt junior next year, his fourth year in the program. That's when he's going to explode and become the guy we have seen flash of, but he's going to do it every game. And he's going to give himself a chance to be the first overall pick. And that's why, to me, it would make so much sense both for him and Ty Simpson to go back and let them show us their development, and they can both battle for that spot next year.